Hello and welcome to the first summer episode for the Wind in the Willows episode reviews. This week we kick off with Toad Photographer. So kind of officially the first summer episode, although in some ways, like I said before, it's kind of a spring episode from the Summer Escapades video. This is the most recent VHS version. So it's the first episode on there, and you'll see in a moment the narrator says it's a glorious spring day, but it's turned the corner towards summer, and it is on the Summer Escapades video, which is why it's this week's episode. Okay, so let's dive straight into this. I'm going to press play right now if you want to sync it up. Okay, so Toad Photographer. I'm just going to get my trusty guide. This was directed by, where are we? Jackie Cockle. So another classic Jackie Cockle episode, and of course we have Sue Pugh and Paul Berry animating on this. So this one, I kind of came to this one quite late. This isn't one from my childhood. Oddly, I didn't have this video. I had all the others. When you think of these seasonal videos that they brought out, I had, well, my brother had Spring Follies. I certainly had Winter Sports, and I got Autumn Antiques a bit quite late on, but second hand. And Summer Escapades I didn't get until it was re-released many times. It was re-released a few times, and yeah, like I say, it was a while before I managed to get it for whatever reason. But Toad Photographer has become a firm favourite. I do like it. I think it's you know, you see the way it's opening here. Going from spring into summer, we see everything getting more colourful, more sort of. We get the sense that the weather's better. I mean, it is beautiful here at the moment in most parts of the UK, certainly where we are. And it's just lovely. It's series 2. It's the second episode in series 2. Had a bit of an odd order because the first episode was Winter Sports, which is a classic winter episode. So look at that lovely miniature of Toad Hall there. And I love the way it opens where we don't see the actual characters apart from their hands. They're helping themselves to food and drink as always in Toad Hall. And straight away we've got sarcastic Ratty there.
What a handsome home this is. Oh yes, it's not a bad old place.
And it's a bit of an odd opening though. I think with Mole sort of saying, my goodness, what a handsome home this is, like he hasn't noticed before. I guess it's just struck him. But it does lead nicely into what the episode is all about. So Toad's going, you know, being the self-centered creature that he is, he's kind of hinting that he should be up there with his ancestors. So there's famous, well, not famous, but big paintings and statues and so on of his ancestors, and he's hinting that he should be up there.
I mean, there's something missing from the walls.
So without being too literal about it, he's trying to hint at it, which Toad does from time to time. There's a few episodes like that. And look at this beautiful animation, this pose here. I love this pose. He's holding it. Where he sort of looks down at Mole there and the others.
Yes, well, all the other famous toads are up there, and
There you go.
much more famous than any of
So he's suggesting he's more famous than any of them. To us he is, of course. Famous Toad of Toad Hall. And I like these shots of the various paintings, so as they're talking we see shots of different paintings around Toad Hall.
Where would you have it done? Why couldn't Badger do it? Badger paints beautifully. Nonsense.
So we already, as an audience, believe that Toad's talking about painting, and Badger, as we know, does paint.
Sorry, Toad.
And now Toad's actually about to reveal he's going to be obsessed with photography. So that's his new craze for this episode. And of course cameras obviously were around for a while by then, but still very much a new fad. Certainly one of the latest things in Edwardian times. And here comes sarcastic Ratty again.
Loss of detail would be an advantage, Toad. If you want to
I love those little one-liners again that Brian Truman wrote with Peter Sallis in mind. If it had been Ian Carmichael all the way through, it would have been a very different Ratty, I think.
Oh, surely that's not quite the thing for a gentleman's portrait. Well, perhaps you're right, Toad. But my cousin Oberon has just had his likeness photographed, and he says his
Mole
name
refers to Oberon once again. So there are a few hints at Oberon Mole there. So Toad now is going into a kind of a trance, you could say. So he's thinking about his craze, his latest craze, photography. So because Mole said all the rage, he put his foot in it a bit. And now the others are groaning, thinking, oh no, what has Mole done?
I'm sure yours is very good, Badger. Oh dear. No, I shall have the very latest.
So this is Toad being typical Toad, isn't it? He's kind of absolutely becoming obsessed now. He's thinking, wow, he's got the money, he can afford this. He now can go to London and get the latest camera.
And get myself a camera, or two, and all the other...
Or two.
all the bits and the pieces.
Oh, it's no use, Badger. He's off again. It's another craze.
Oh dear, and it's all my fault.
No. Well, if it hadn't been photography, it would have been something else. It'll be like a fever now. We'll just have to let it burn itself out.
Oh dear. House myself.
So I love this kind of...
They'll be begging for my masterpiece.
The music, by the way, is Snakes and Ladders again in the background. He's so obsessed that he's not even thinking about what he's doing, climbing on his table. I like this because the narrator comes in here, which doesn't happen often. You know, it's occasionally the narrator comes in like this, but certainly by series 2. I mean, it's a bit more common in series 1, but to have a series 2 episode it is unusual. But I like it because it's got that storybook feel to it. And it's necessary. It does feel necessary that the narrator's coming in, filling the gaps. Time has passed. Toad's waiting for his delivery. Look at that crazy delivery. And we've got a little rabbit here who looks like Billy Rabbit, speaks like Billy Rabbit, but it isn't Billy Rabbit, or at least we assume it isn't. Unless it's Billy Rabbit taking on a job. Of his postman. And Billy Rabbit was already, as I've said before, kind of a new character at this point and became much more prominent in the later series. So you can feel what he's feeling though, and you know, the excitement of, you know, getting the delivery and you've got these new toys to play with. You know, it's any of us can relate to this, but so yeah. I think of the possibilities. You know, you've got Toad. You know, he's getting into photography, and think of what he could do with that. You know, the idea of being able to take photos, and it would have been exciting back then with that technology and cinema as well, and everything. The way that all began, people must have just marvelled at it. I like this. I like the way Toad's face drops here in a minute when he realises that it's for novices. There, the way the cheeks come down, so that's the cheek joints are obviously fitted into the skull of Toad, the armature. Sounds David Jason makes as well, all sorts of very kind of Toad-like as well, but certainly right for his character. And look at those, the transitions, the slides kind of coming in now. I really love that touch. The Cosgrove Hall really add a lot, you know, to it. This animation. So this would have been Paul Berry doing Toad, trying to fit the camera up. Lots of action here, lots of lovely sort of walking around, really considering the composition, using the space. And you've got those lovely quick falls, the Toad falling to the ground, hurting himself. Just being an idiot, basically. And interestingly, they picked music that wouldn't normally be suited for Toad. We've got Mole's theme playing in the background. But it works. You know? Obviously, like any series, they have a library of music to choose from, and they just pick the piece that they feel is most appropriate. And just because it's called Mole's theme doesn't mean it has to be used whenever we see Mole. I like that, that's lovely that. I don't know if that would have been animated or actually done live. The anticipation there before he chucks it. So he's definitely bought 2. I love this. I love this set here. We see this set a fair bit in certain episodes. Beautiful little bridge. So we know that his picture's upside down, so yeah, makes sense to turn the camera upside down. And now of course he can't look through it. He's completely obsessed with it. He's completely in a trance. And this is nice. So we see Badger with his camera taking photos, presumably of Toad Hall. So it's a very short shot there, but it just kind of, it's important, as we'll see later on. And it's nice to go from that to a shot of Ratty. So it's almost like we're seeing a montage of the characters. But of course we've seen Badger alone, so we wonder what he's up to really. So I love this. We already get a sense that Toad might fall into the river, just by seeing the water there and the fact that Toad isn't really looking where he's going. That's a nice angle we don't often see. The very blue sky behind it. Probably should have seen a bit more land there. It suggests it's a hill that kind of goes over like that, and nothing, or very high up. But I like the one eye closing. He's looking through. Here we go. So we already know what's going to happen. Ratty's warning him, and well, Ratty tried to tell him. Shame we didn't see the camera in the water there. You see Toad fall in, but it would be nice just to see the camera just completely ruined in the water. So, slightly less parcels, but adding to what he's already got, or broken. We have a lot of short shots here, and again with those slides, transitions. The way it's just, I like that it's back and forth like that, so it's not just continuing in the same direction. It's like you are putting a slide on and off again. It's really, really nice. So finally, in this kind of montage, if you like, we see Mole. There's a shot coming up in a moment that we see in the Oh Mr. Toad titles, which I was familiar with long before I saw this episode. I remember we had A Tale of Two Toads on VHS, and watching all those clips, I was looking and thinking, I haven't seen that episode, I haven't seen that one. And this is the shot here where he takes the flash, and I remember thinking, what is that episode? I've got to find that. And it wasn't until years later. Well, actually, it wasn't until Channel 5 actually broadcast them that I think I saw them. Lovely smoke effect there. I think that would have been done on glass. And they would have moved the glass like that. Probably would have been a couple of panes. If anyone watching worked on this, let us know. Please do let us know. I would have loved to have asked Sue Pugh about it, because I worked with Sue on Rupert Bear and Postman Pat. So we're into this final scene now, which is probably the highlight of the whole episode, where Toad's efforts culminate in this grand presentation that he's promising everyone. Difficult to light a setup like this, because obviously they need the room to be dark to be able to show the photographs, but you need a bit of light so you can see them. See the characters.
My word, Toad, you have got it bad. Yeah.
There's a bit of backlight there on Ratty.
Better get on with it then.
Just enough detail so we can just see the characters. It's basically the glow of the lamp there. From his lantern, or it's Badger's magic lantern that he shows. In the earlier episode, the Yuletide Entertainment, he shows slides of his visits to India.
wouldn't like you to miss any of the... yes, Badger?
Well, Toad's building it up way too much
We shall
because
commence.
we can only guess at what we're about to see. We know it's not going to be perfection.
The first one is the stately facade of Toad Hall.
There we go, first one.
Badger?
That Toad is it.
It.
You didn't,
It.
by any chance, leave the lens cap on?
Lens cap,
Lens
so.
cap. Lens.
I love this typical Toad here.
So that's what it was. No. No, of course
That
not.
realisation, that beautiful,
This, of course,
you know,
is
first
an
of all the script again, then David Jason delivering it, and then suddenly realising, and then it, when it works, it's because everybody's done their job so well, and it comes back to the, well, finally to the animator of getting that timing and going from, you know, Toad realising to suddenly realising again that his friends are there and he's trying to hide that fact. So
Yes, Toad, as handsome as I've ever
I think we should have seen a bit of light on Toad then when that slide came on. It would have been nice. Just to suddenly to see him lit up, because obviously this will cast a glow on all of them. But
It was just a tryout. Now, this next one
Just a
is the
tryout.
one that I met.
But you think you haven't done too badly. Yeah, at least he's, yeah, it's crooked and he's tried. You know, at least they're in focus.
People, I've done wrong.
Nonsense, Toad. Next.
I do feel for him a little bit. They're all laughing
Well,
at him.
it's one I took a rat in his boat. So, he's just off to the right. A wonderful sense of movement, don't you think?
This is would have been economical as well. We just show these photos and little animation going on.
How about if
Always good. Little fillers there. So Ratty Mole laughing away. You see all these. But Badger's just being quite serious. He's not laughing. Toad's face dropping again. There it is. Cheeks again. And it's lots of quick shots, you know, going. It's really beautifully planned out. You've got shots of Ratty and Mole laughing. You've got shots of the slides going in. Occasional shot of Badger and Toad's reactions, and it's a great little mishmashing of all of that.
Masterpieces.
And that last one there, we know when that was taken. It was just Toad was about to fall in the river. You can see Ratty warning him.
a new portrait of me.
Oh, that is a pity.
I suppose you haven't any photographs you can show us, Badger?
Didn't I see you
So,
taking some
now we're
of
about to get to the-
Badger?
To the reason for that shot of Badger photographing. So
Two, if you care to see 'em. Only taken with my old
ways turning to Toad there. And I like this kind of shots like this are difficult. See the back of the head, but you see Toad's cheeks go up. See that? We just got to add enough light to see the cheeks go up. So that realization of Toad before he turns around, and I love that, especially with Toad not having any ears. Same with Mole, I guess. When a character hasn't got ears, you've got to show that they've heard something in a different kind of way. Oh, it is mean though, isn't it? Poor Toad. You do feel for him. But you see Badger's camera's just as good as Toad's. I mean, you've got a good cameraman behind you. Now, I like this because the painting that Badger is doing there actually still exists. It's in the archive, and it is. You can see it's a painting of Toad there. You can see the pose is the same, the colours and everything. But the interesting thing about it is we don't see the painting in this actual episode. We just see the back of it, like here. And it just shows again the level of detail that Cosgrove Hall went to. The props department would always go to every single detail, even if it's only going to be glimpsed on screen, or even if it isn't going to be seen on screen. Bridget Appleby told me a great story that they had plans for Toad Hall when he was coming up with an building episode when he was planning to extend Toad Hall, and all the plans were in a drawer, but they knew the plans would never be seen, but they did them anyway. Sorry, talking over the ending there, but that's Toad going. What we see in many other episodes, he's becoming obsessed with another craze now. So painting. You know, he wants to get into painting. Shame there isn't an episode. We don't actually see an episode. We don't see that followed up. But I would have loved to see Toad try his hand at painting. It would have been a nice one. Maybe it was on the cards, but yeah, it was never made. So there we go, Toad Photographer. So I do like it. It's probably not one of my absolute favourites, but I do like it. I think it's a very funny episode. It brings out every facet of Toad's character, I think. Apart from his, I don't know, warmly side, you could say. No weasels in it, but it's still a very funny episode. And again, we've got a lot of lovely outdoor scenes in it, and it really feels like summer. You know, the colours and everything. And, yeah, beautiful. Just a real feel-good episode, I think. So yeah, there we go. So thanks for joining me once again. Next week it is Gadget Mad, another summer episode. It hints at it's early summer, so it feels appropriate. Shame a lot of it's inside in Gadget Mad, but it is a really funny episode. Some great stuff in it. So enjoy the weather. Enjoy. Yes, as it bit overcast today, but yeah. Summer is finally here. We are into June. So, thank you very much. Keep the comments coming. Like I say, I will try and reply as often as I can and as soon as I can. But yeah, thank you very much. And I will see you next week for Gadget Mad. All the best.